right, Mr. Kimbrough, welcome to our 5 Questions With segment. We're thankful to have you here with us.
Glad to be here.
So, Mr. Kimbrough, you've been a part of Allen Bryant's Scholars Bowl and Haiku programs for a long time now. So, exactly how long have you been a part of this program, and did you even play Scholars Bowl and Haiku when you were a student?
Since 2012,
Oh, yeah.
I've been the haiku coach.
That's 9 years.
The next year I came in for Scholars Bowl, so 1 year I just coached haiku. In high school, I was not on our Scholars Bowl or haiku teams. Wish I had done that. I was in the class, like the class that we have right now. I was asked to do it, but I didn't do it. So that's one of the things I wish I had done. I was on math team. We did have a math team. So
Wonder why high schools don't have math teams anymore.
It's not as fun as Scholars Bowl and haiku. We just took tests. We went to different schools, and you had a paper test, and you took that test, and then you waited on somebody to grade it. That's not quite as fun as what we do, I don't think. What do you think?
Yeah, not as fun.
Yeah.
At least not even the elementary school math team we had, because we had to take a test as well.
Did you do that? Okay,
Yeah.
So that sounds the same as what we did.
Essentially, it's what it is. So let's go to the next question. So let's talk about past Scholars Bowl teams, the teams you've coached, and past haiku teams. So how they fared, what students have stood out to you during your time at Allen Bryant. Just give us a little bit of a history surrounding Allen Bryant Scholars Bowl.
Well, I coached JV Scholars Bowl most of the years. Mr. Patrick was the varsity coach for years and years, and on JV we won 2 straight county championships. You were on one of those teams.
I do remember that.
Do you remember what happened to the trophy? We
Yes,
had the trophy in my room. Braden broke the top of it almost as soon as we got it. Still have that one on display.
It didn't take much, honestly.
It was easy to break.
Very easy.
But so we won 2 in a row there. We came in second place a lot as JV coach and a few thirds. Last year we didn't get to have our normal county season though because of COVID. So we played in those tournaments, but we didn't play in our county tournaments.
Right.
I think you guys did pretty well. We should have been 4-0 in the regional, but the way they did it, they just averaged our scores, and we lost a game that we wouldn't have lost.
Right.
But we got revenge in the national tournament.
We definitely did.
Because we got to play Lamp, which is a magnet school in Montgomery. So they beat us because they averaged our scores together, and then when we actually played them, we beat them pretty handily.
Yeah.
So our teams have been pretty successful in Scholars Bowl and very successful in haiku. Braden was part of a championship haiku team as well that went on to the national championship. That was your freshman year.
It was.
Yeah, you came in and saved the day. Really, you got the winning answer there at the end of the match.
It was a government bonus.
The government, you got it. That put us ahead, and then Suttree added on at the end.
Baker missed their math.
Yeah, Baker could have won it on the math. The Bakers are our main opponent in Scholars Bowl every year. It's
and haiku.
We know and haiku. We know that it's going to come down to in the county to us, Baker. Davidson's there every now and then. McGill is a dark horse. Somehow they got us last year. We're going to get revenge this year on McGill. Definitely.
All right, so we know that tryouts are going to be this afternoon. So for a student, what does it take to be in Scholars Bowl? How do the tryouts work? And are there any restrictions to who can try out? Do you have to be an honors student? Do you have to be a certain grade level, etc.?
Any grade can try out. Any level of student can try out. I'm going to ask 50 questions, which would be longer than our normal game. A normal game is 20 questions. With 3 bonus questions per question you get right, but we're not playing bonus. We're just doing 50 straight toss-up questions, and we're going to do it on paper. So we won't be using the buzzers. We'll just be taking sort of a test. I'll call out the 50, and depending on what type of question it is, I'll time it either 5 seconds or 10 seconds. If it's a math question that you need to calculate, then it'll be 10 seconds for you to answer. If not, it'll be 5 seconds, and then I'll move on to the next question. And so then I'll grade the test, and the top scoring students will make the team. And if we have some places where we need to decide, where we have some scores that are very close, we usually come in to do buzzer tryouts, and we'll probably do those next week. So I'll post who's on the team and who needs to come in to buzzer tryouts.
That network will help you out in that social media category.
Mm-hmm.
And so for a student that doesn't know much about Scholars Bowl, what it is, so how does a Scholars Bowl match work? You alluded to this in your previous answer. So how would a Scholars Bowl or a high Q match work, and what type of preparation takes place for matches like these?
Okay, for Scholars Bowl, you can get asked the question in numerous subjects. It could be a math question, a science question. Science is actually the category with the most chance of being asked, but it breaks down into, it could be biology, it could be physics, it could be chemistry. Then after that, literature is the next most, then history, and on down. But you could be asked a question about sports. You could be asked a question about current music. Braden's always good at that. If it's a current song, Braden's going to get it.
I don't know why.
He knows it. I don't know what's going on in modern music, but if it's classic music, I'll get it. There could be classical or classic rock. You never know what's coming in Scholars Bowl. Whereas for high Q, you're given certain subjects to study. Somebody's going to study biology. You're going to have the chapters to study. Somebody's going to study world history. You're going to have the chapters to study. There's going to be literature. You're going to have the specific stories to read. So it's not going to be a story that you haven't prepared for. Whereas in Scholars Bowl, you might not know the story. You might have never read the story, but you might be able to pick up a detail and get the answer right. High Q is more focused on you better study the material, or you're going to have a hard time answering these questions.
Right, so Scholars Bowl is more just general trivia, more like Jeopardy, whereas high Q is more structured.
Yes, high Q is more structured. That's a good way to put it.
So lastly, and then it ties into some of the previous answers and questions, what would you tell a student who's on the fence about trying out for Scholars Bowl or high Q? Are there any perks? What perks are there? How does this prepare students for college and beyond?
Well, I think the camaraderie between the players and all of the different trips we get to go on through the years make it worthwhile. Now, last year we didn't get to go on the trips that we normally go on because of COVID. But generally we go to Birmingham and we play a tournament. We go to several tournaments in Florida. Those are always fun. This is for Scholars Bowl. For high Q, it's fun to go to the different schools. We go to the different schools in the county. We don't know where we're going each year, so every year when we get our schedule, we find out we might go to Baker, we might go to Murphy, we might go to Davidson, just wherever, and then they feed us. It's always good to go get a meal at the school.
Good to get a meal at Theodore after you've destroyed their high Q.
Yeah, that's always fun too, to beat the team and then you get to eat with them. Mm-hmm. So that's an aspect that I find very enjoyable, and I think the players enjoy as well. I would definitely say if you're on the fence, try out. I mean, I think back to you asked the question, if I was on the team in high school, I wish I had done it because of the experiences, you know. So I get to experience it as a coach, but I think it's a different thing to be up on stage for high Q as a player, and competing against others. So I think it definitely helps you for college too, because you get this. You study more material than you would in a class. It's more of a fun way of studying because you're studying for basically a game that you're going to get to play. Mm-hmm. So, don't you find that it helps? It definitely raises reading levels and reading scores.
Definitely.
Right.
Because you have to read all these different literature, study this different literature, and this mythology, and anything under the sun, essentially.
Right, exactly.
So thank you for your time today, Mr. Kimbrough. We wish you good luck and your team good luck throughout this year. We look forward to hearing all the good things coming out of this program in the near future and the results of the matches.
Oh, definitely. And thank you, Brady.
All right, so that will wrap up today's 5 Questions with segment. Make sure to subscribe to our iNetwork YouTube channel for notifications of when we will broadcast next, when our next 5 Questions with segment is going to be. So have a great day and stay safe. Also, follow all of our social media platforms.